Hey CPC family, I'm really excited to let you know that based upon Premier Ford's most recent announcement, as we move into phase one on Friday, June 11th, we're going to be allowed to regather as a church at 15% capacity on June 13th. And so our church will be regathering this Sunday. And we're looking forward to that. We would encourage you to register online. Now, as we're thinking about a post-pandemic world, I really want to talk to you about three things that our board and our staff have been discussing lately. Many of us are just thinking about getting back to normal. But as we leave the pandemic world, we pray. But there are 3 R's I want you to be thinking about. The first is restart. When you restart your computer, you simply press a button and everything restarts. And for many people, they think that once we leave the pandemic element behind, that we will simply press a button and all the programs that we were doing before will come back into existence, that we will just restart. But the truth is that we are really trying to be intentional, and we're looking at our volunteer base. And so we're going to practice a cascading restart, looking at the things that need to start immediately, looking at our volunteer base, and slowly starting to reopen things that need to be reopened. The second R is reevaluate. The restarting is actually going to be based upon the reevaluation. In this pandemic, we have really learned 2 things. One is that we need to simplify. Many of us have expressed this appreciation to really refocus on some things that really matter and to simplify our lives. And we want to make sure that as a church that we are not getting so busy that people have an unbalanced life. Secondly, we also want to make sure that we are mission focused. We've had to ask ourselves in this pandemic, what really matters? And so as we begin to reevaluate the ministries and the programs we do here, we want to make sure that we simplify things, that we have great clarity of vision, and that we are only doing the things that we should be doing. And so we want to only say yes to what matters most. So a reevaluation. Lastly, we want to re-engage. Friends, it's not just enough for us to come back and attend things. But 1 Corinthians 15 verse 58 says, always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord. And so if we're going to fulfill the mission that God has for this church, we are going to need to re-engage more than simply being in person. That means that we need each of you to find an area of ministry and re-engage in the mission in this church, whether that's kids ministry, youth ministry, an usher, a greeter, on the sound team. We need you to re-engage in ministry. So as we think about regathering, let us think about restarting in a cascading way. Let us think about reevaluating to make sure that we are doing things in a simplified way, in a mission-focused way. And lastly, let us re-engage, all participating, all investing in what God has for us here at CPC. We are looking forward to the future in a post-pandemic world.